Welcome to this installment of the Loaded Pitchfork. I'm Alina, and today I will be giving you an overview of who we are, what our farm does, and a quick look at my journey to get here. This is my first ever YouTube video, and I want to thank you so much for joining me today, so stay tuned for a very special promotional offer. Welcome to our farm. I'm Alina Wilson and the owner and main operator here at Cornerstone Acres. Let me tell you a little bit about myself as it relates to our farming and homesteading venture. I started with chickens close to 30 years ago, and I've owned chickens ever since. I've gardened for just as long, and over the years I've owned rabbits off and on. I purchased my first goats 25 years ago in 1995. It was a pygmy bottle baby buck with horns. He was awesome and horrible at the same time. He was certainly an important learning experience, and one of the very reasons I tend to over-explain things to potential customers, because no unsuspecting buyer should be subjected to a single buck goat, ever. Fast forward about 6 years, and the goat was rehomed to a more suitable farm, and I now had my first horse. That horse was my saving grace for many years. Then I added a couple of Jacob sheep wethers. Shortly thereafter, I went through a divorce, but kept my horses and chickens. I went on to meet my wonderful husband Greg in 2008, and we just celebrated our 11th anniversary this month. We continued riding horses until just a few years ago. After I talked my wonderful husband into bringing goats onto the farm, everything changed. It was shortly thereafter that we moved north onto the larger farm, which we named Cornerstone Acres Farm. And that brings me up to date. We are now full swing into this homesteading way of life, and while I sometimes think my husband is just along for the ride, I am loving almost every minute of it. So more importantly, what is going on here and now? We are a small homestead and working farm that utilizes natural practices and sustainable regenerative methods. We are constantly evolving and improving what we do and how we do things. We are in this for all the benefits it entails, as well as for the sheer joy of it. We are located on a small 12-acre farm situated in northern Lower Michigan. Approximately 6 acres are in pasture, gardens, and buildings, while the other 6 is in hayfield. We also lease around 40 acres of hayfields nearby. My passion is, and always will be, my goats. Those first few goats that were the beginning of our current herd were a bit of a mix, but one of the Boer Kiko does was a foundation to our current stock and is still part of our herd today. I love the genetics we have worked so hard to improve upon, but as most of you know, improving your stock never ends. When we added myotonic goats, or fainting goats, to our herd, we found lines that had some great natural immunity to parasites, easy kidding, and great mothering abilities. Some of those traits we had to work harder to get with our Boers. Add in that they are easy on fences and how cute they are, and you have yourself a wonderful goat to own. Our goals with our goats are to offer market goats for 4-H, quality breeding stock, goat meat, and even fun pets. We also milk them, and the Kiko genetics enhance that. We are building our vegetation management service we named Goatery Mowers. We are utilizing goats for what they do best, clearing brush and overgrown areas. Thorny berry patches, poison ivy, and thickets are no match for this team of workers, and they excel within forested areas where heavy machinery would otherwise damage the land. Rabbits were added near the beginning of our adventure here, but I have changed breeds a few times. After I selected the wonderful Silver Fox breed, I just couldn't get past the lack of variety in available colors, so I moved on to satins. There is an amazing variety of colors available in this breed, But to have a successful program, I felt concentrating on one color would be best, and once again, I was bored. So I moved on to Rex, and then eventually to tricolored Rex. I then added Angoras to the lineup. I admittedly haven't done much to move forward in my program for either breed. In the last few years, I cut back on our numbers due to lack of time. I have kept a few core animals and have been utilizing what we breed for quality fiber to spin and meat to eat. I enjoy raising our rabbits colony style. They are able to live outside and in groups all year round. Over the years, my feeding program has varied quite a bit. I've gone from conventional pellet feeding to tractor usage to hay only to adding grains to fodder to using only fresh greens. Right now, I've settled on a combination of all these things. We added Cooney pigs just a few years ago after deciding we were too old, too out of shape, and just too darn slow to outrun the overprotective mother pigs of the previous breeds we had been raising. I don't think I'll ever regret the choice to go with the Cooney breed. They have proven their gentleness and ease of handling to me over and over again. We were able to fence off our 2-acre yard and allow the pigs access to grazing without having our road frontage look like a construction site. Not one of our pigs roots or tears up the ground, although they do love to nose around the wallow area we provided them with. The Cooney pig is smaller and grows slower than a typical farm pig, but for us, they work extremely well. We added a small flock of Jacob's sheep to the farm, and now I can have both lamb for the table and plenty of wool for my spinning wheel. I knew years ago that if I ever owned a flock of sheep, it would be the Jacob breed. My mother has bred Jacob sheep for over 25 years now and has a beautiful patchwork flock located in Tiger, Georgia. I myself am very new to the breed, but as I learn more and grow our flock, I rely heavily on the Jacob sheep breeders community as a whole for information and advice. It's really one of the kindest and most helpful groups of people out there. At some point, between a few escaped piglets and bringing sheep onto the farm, the decision was made to add herding dogs to the family. Shortly thereafter, Australian Shepherds came crashing into our life. We really love the breed and chose our dogs for their working method, temperament, and overall personalities. They have a wonderful natural herding instinct and have proven to work very well with all of the other animals on the farm. Grizz and Bear have been great additions. Of course, I still raise chickens, both egg layers and meat birds. I also have the amazing Muscovy breed of duck. Muscovies are the mortgage lifters of the poultry world. If you don't have some, I suggest you look into the breed. We keep a handful of guinea fowl around to keep the bug population down and to be lookouts around the farm. If you've never heard guineas squawking, you just haven't lived. I haven't had much success with turkeys. I tried quail for a summer, and once I have time to get things set up a bit better, I hope to get them again. We've had cows and bees, but found the cows we had were just too much for our small acreage, and currently our hives sit empty. I don't feel these are closed chapters in our farming book, but more aptly should be called ones that will be rewritten soon. Lastly, we have the Guardians of the Keep, the Lords of the Lions, and my all-time favorite goofballs, our livestock guardian dogs. We have 3 hardworking Great Pyrenees, ages 9 to 5, and more recently we added our first Anatolian Great Pyrenees. Our dogs have proven themselves over and over again to be amazingly natural guardians, and each one has taken to their role here very well. Icy is our first LGD and is the most amazing dog. She is both fierce and gentle and has always been the best babysitter on the farm. Rain was our second LGD, and he sired a few amazing litters here and proved to be a wonderful dog until we lost him in an accident. Our third addition here was Bruno. He arrived at the age of 18 months and actually came from a pet home. We attempted to keep him separate his first night here, and in the morning found him back in with the goats, and he has never left. He is fiercely loyal and very bonded to me, but still loves his goats, especially the babies. He works exceptionally well with any LGD he is placed with. Izzy was our fourth addition and is a granddaughter to our Icy and Rain. She is a great dog, and even though she acts like a puppy at 5 years old, she is protective and very gentle, even with the youngest of her charges. Our fifth and fairly recent addition is Timber. She is an Anatolian Shepherd, Great Pyrenees mix with just a touch of Akbash. We think she's an amazing dog, but she has been a learning experience compared to our Great Pyrenees. Whether she is working or playing, she is certainly a much more intense dog. Animals are the major cornerstone of our farm, and they are really one of the biggest reasons why I do this. But they aren't the only thing we do, of course. We offer CSA shares that can include produce, herbs,
meats, fiber, eggs, honey, maple syrup, and even manure if you want it. We also offer many hands-on classes right here on the farm. We offer classes in gardening, food preservation, working with natural fibers, hand spinning, foraging, cold processed soap making, butchering, species-specific animal care, running a small farm, making maple syrup, cooking, and more. Now we arrive at that promo code you deserve for listening to me flap my yap. I wanted to keep it in line with the whole theme of learning about us in this video, so I'm offering 20% off any of our classes so you can learn even more. Use the promo code IWATCHEDIT to get 20% off of any one on-farm class we offer in the year 2020. This includes any group or private classes you schedule. If you are watching this after 2020, don't worry, I thought of you too. I have learned many homesteading skills over the last 30 years, and hopefully today I have given you some insight into what happens here and what we are about. Over time, through this YouTube channel, I hope to offer more information to help you on your own journey, whether it is to be a sustainable homestead, a profitable small farm, or just to have some fun with a great hobby. We hope you will gain valuable knowledge and helpful skills from our future videos, and I look forward to sharing with you all the aspects of this lifestyle. Everything from the serious and the heartbreaking to the most hilarious and heartwarming. I won't gussy up this way of living, although I am partial to it, so I tend to accentuate the positive. I hope you like our first attempt at a YouTube video, and if so, please hit like and subscribe for more homesteading know-how. In my next video, how you can raise 700 pounds of meat for free on your very own homestead in just one season.